Guillotines are not only meant for the elect. Guillotines are not only meant for the elect. Definition of sedition in France. With that, I would like to say, Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Ruach Quadash, Thawara, Yahweh, for giving us Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, who have the 100% spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Shai in them. Double honors to the CT bishops, elders of GMS, our big brothers. Greetings and salutations to the brothers in this country and all over the world who are prophesying in the true name of Yahweh Bahashim Shai, which is none other than the power of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and anybody who descendants from those people on their father's side. Shalom to those who are scattered abroad. Shalom to the Akim and Aquith, the beloved Akim. All right. And shalom to the Akim and Aquith who are scattered all over the earth. I'm messing up my intro. It's too long anyway. But anyway, anyway, I'm Yahweh, serving the King of the universe, King Yahushai, from the power of Yahweh. Again, the title is Guillotines are not only meant for the elect, but also, of course, the wicked. In this case, in this video, would be wicked politicians, because over there in France, everybody knows what's going over there with the latest, what's going on with France with the riots. They're like, the number one example of what rioting has been for the past years. With the yellow jackets, whatever have you, and what's been going on over there with that. So anyway, with the latest with them, I have an article here going into that the French, I read the article. It says French MPs threaten, which MPs represents the politicians of France, officials. Politicians in France are threatened with the guillotine ahead of a crucial vote. Okay, so so this is what I found this. This is out of RT News. I found this last week. Today's the 20th. This is dated March the 20th. Today's the 31st, Friday, and it took me a while to find it because I actually lost it, and I didn't know where I saved it, where it was, or what was the source. But throughout the Lord, let me find it yesterday, and then we'll do a show today on it. So again, we're just going to read over this article and prove to the Holy Spirit, why again the Bible reigns supreme, is the number one understanding, the only understanding. The understanding is given only by one people. Is given out to one people, the Holy Spirit, which is the nation of Israel, starting with the aristocrats, starting with the vanguards of those people, which are the elect. Okay, so again, it's prophesied in Revelation 20 that the elect are going to get beheaded. Okay, for believing and having faith in Yahushai, in the Most High, who this world scoffs at. They don't believe him. They believe it's a fairy tale. We about to see. Okay, but the ones who believe in the Lord, you can't get their spirits, man. Okay, those spirits belong to the Most High and His Son, the King, and they'll get beheaded to prove that to you, man. Okay, so that's the elect, and I'm going to go over Revelation 20 just to hit that point real quick, and then two other quick scriptures I want to get on that. Okay, but we're going to start off reading this article first. Okay, and I guess as a brief intro, I have a long intro, but talking point before I read it is, there was a show Apostle Gabar did on Guillotine, not the past two. He did like last year, like in 2020, and man, that was an excellent show on the Guillotine, because what Apostle Gabar brought out was an actual law. He brought out a law that he found through the Spirit, and the law was established or put into legislation in 1991. All right, U.S. government. Okay, and they wrote into law. I forget the details, but basically the more detail you need to know is the guillotine, and that it'll be used by the government. for the incriminated, so to speak, right? So we know that the ones who believe in the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, overall will be so-called a crime to preach his word. We will be incriminated, man. Hence, we will be delivered up to the judges' seats representing these courtrooms or the establishments where we'll be judged by a wicked society, a wicked understanding by the devil system to say that we're going off, man. But the point is that it's going to be a crime to preach his word, and you know, again, that's why it says, you know, the righteous is going to be beheaded, you know, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai. But again, you know, the guillotines is not only for the elect, it's for the wicked. And you know, again, that show Apostle Gabar did, he brought out a law. I forget what it was, but you know, I'm just going to mention it real quick. You know, this is when we know it through the scriptures, but that's when you first see it out in you know, of course, real time, that, you know, they actually have this written in the law, man. Okay. So that was an excellent show. I tried to look. That's probably on one of his deleted channels, but I did find one of his recent ones he did on the guillotine. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I'll post it in the description. I don't know if he mentioned that law in 1991, but he went into the guillotine again. I looked at it a little bit, and I'll post that in the description. You know, but I just want to highlight that excellent show Apostle Gabar did around 2020, man. And he brought out the actual law on the guillotine and that the government's going to be using it, man. All right, so it's written in the law. It's written in the legislation. This is not a fake, you know. So the guillotines is what? It's also meant for the wicked. And we know that they're going to use it in these concentration camps where people who are going against the government, who commit sedition, you know, they'll be jailed, whatever, right? Or not mutiny. I think mutiny is a military term, but you know, sedition and going against the government, and you're going to be in jail for that, man. And they're going to have a guillotine there waiting for you. So it's for the wicked as well, all right? And in this case, again, the politicians, okay? We got a lot of these things going on with these certain, how should I say, these certain proposals that the government's making by senators, you know, politicians. This week we had what a month ago you had that guy from some guy in Tennessee saying he's going to bring back the hangings in Tennessee. You know, one of the top racist states in the country, man, and the world. Mississippi, you know, Nashville's in the news now. So anyway, they're talking about bringing back the hanging. So you're hearing this rhetoric. Trump, he talking about bringing back the beheadings, and he supposedly, you know, I guess they indicted him or something like that. But whatever, that's just for show. You believe that side if you want. But anyway, Trump talked about the beheadings. You know, he brought it up. Okay, so all right, so let's get right to it. Let's read this article. Okay, here's the article, and as you can see, it's from Russia Today. Okay, this is dated again from March 20th. Today's the 31st. You know, the water Yahweh Shema Shai, the Lord made me find this because I was looking for it for a few days. But anyway, you know, again, like I said, this is very interesting. You know, the first thing I thought about was, you know, the title. And, you know, solo when I jumped on it, man. So let's read a little bit of this to prove, you know, that, again, obviously, as you can see, the guillotines are not only for the elect, but, you know, for the wicked, including the wicked politicians, man. You guys are definitely wicked. You know, you've done wicked things to receive your certain benefits, which is basically to sell out for this demonic, beastly, satanic system, you know, by sororities, fraternities, alliances with the secret societies, you know, your Freemasonries and all that crap, man. So, you know, this is a devilish, witchcraft, satanic society. And, you know, the guillotines are for the wicked too. Wicked politicians and also the people, man. You know, wicked, everybody who's not the elect. But anyway, and thus said the Bible, all right? Thus said the scriptures. It says, again, French, let's read, French French MPs threatened, I need to highlight that, threatened with guillotine ahead of a crucial vote. President Emmanuel Macron's pension reforms have been followed by days of riots that police have struggled to control. All right, so again, this is dealing with pension reforms. And what he's done is basically raised them. Right, he's raised the, the Social Security age that people can work more. And we really know what that deals with. What does it always deal with? What is always the common denominator with these politicians? They're basically, politicians equal basically middle management, man. The middle management for the elites. They're smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean? And to tell you, they're basically pacifiers. Politicians are pacifiers, right? Pacifying you to calm you down while they have their hand behind your back, taking your money out your pocket, man. All right, while they got a knife behind their back. Maybe that's some better way to say it, right? So them raising the age, the pension age for retirement, that means what? Dealing with money. It's all about money. And where does that money go to? By way of taxes, and all these things. Is in revenue, right? Companies they all go to the international bankers, man. All right, all international bankers, man, which are the elites. Okay. Anyway, it says French politicians are being threatened. French politicians are being threatened with a guillotine if they attempt to protect President Emmanuel Macron's government from a pair of non-confidence votes in a parliament, according to a handful of MPs who claim to have received death threats over the weekend. Police told French media that hundreds of such messages have been sent to lawmakers ahead of Monday's vote. It says MP Agnes Evren, vice president of the Republican Party, posted on image of a death threat that she said was sent to her on Sunday, which vowed her heads will fall, calling for the guillotine for your face for supporting Macron. These extremists refuse debate, have no respect for their political adversaries, and are openly inspiring by the terror. All right, and openly inspired by the terror. She tweeted, referring to the period of the bloody executions that followed the French Revolution in 1789. Urging her followers not to underestimate the danger, she vowed to file a complaint to every such threat received. All right. Yeah, because you're a woman, that's why. Anyway, I'm not going to get on that. Anyway, so that's the article. You can read the rest for yourself, because basically the rest just goes into, they're just going over the threats of, protesters and what they're going to do about it. So I'll post the rest of the article in the description. You can read for yourself. All right. And I have another video here. I'll post in the description, but we can take a look about 2 minutes of this. All right. And if you want more info on this, right, this is a good video. I'll post in the description once again. Let's play. I'll play about 2 minutes. And it basically goes into, again, a brief summary of what the hell's going on over there.
We turn now to historian of modern France, Andrew Smith, who's at Queen Mary University of London. Thank you for speaking with us here on France.
As you can see, Macron stands firm on pension reform. President reiterates raising pension age is necessary. We already know why. To take more of your money. It's all about the money. It never changes. Right? And the politicians are all about money, right? But let's continue.
24.
Thank you.
On a big day in London when it comes to grilling former leaders accused of being out of touch here in France, the same charge leveled against the president.
Absolutely. An isolated president, a weakened prime minister, and the streets alive with protest. I think this is really an interesting moment, and that interview was a real watershed moment in some ways, because I think there was lots of moments. It was quite a tense interview where the journalists were trying to give Emmanuel Macron these bridges to cross. You know, is there something you could say to appease people that are angry? What do you say to kind of calm people down? And actually what we got from Macron was really a very simple promise, you know. There was no reshuffle, there is no referendum, and there is no return to the polls because of a dissolution of Parliament. So I think really Emmanuel Macron is, as you say, irresolute. He is, not going to compromise on this. This is something which he is driving ahead with. Never mind the polls. He doesn't face re-election. For him, this is something which is being done because it is right, regardless of the noise that he hears from the streets, the crowd, the mob, as he called it in that interview.
A legitimate anger he spoke about. He did try to also say he'd like to reach out to the unions, but it seemed to be more over future reforms.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was a bit of kind of political judo at work. You know, he was talking about, we've seen a lot about this idea of him being out of touch and the people versus the state. And what he tried to do with that sort of, judo throw and use that weight against the people in the street and those protesting, the anti-syndical movement itself. He tried to compare protests and violence, quite shockingly, to political violence in the United States and in Brazil, notably by talking about, mobs and violence, and saying that ultimately he was defending the Constitution, the law, the kind of the vertical authority that he had. And you're right, he kind of said to the unions that, he would have welcomed compromise measures and he didn't have anything to work with. Of course, we saw furious reactions from, for example, Laurent Berger, the head of the CFDT, who said, we did. We had plenty to work with. We gave you options from 2019 forward. But absolutely, as you say, it looks to future reforms and future laws to be pushed through Parliament. But that is going to be much more difficult. Elizabeth Borne today.
All right, so you can watch the rest. I'll post this video in the description box. Again, if you want more details on what's going on over there in France, and at the end of the day, it's all about stealing your money in the worst time of the world's and world's countries, when so many countries and governments are suffering from inflation, and this is happening because of good old America, Babylon the Great. The dollar's collapsing, and the dollar was the number one currency, right, as of a few years ago. But with the BRICS nations and all these other things happening, I can take it off this now. This is the worst time to raise rates. All right, that's good. Okay, sure the light's good. It's locked. I don't got a stand, so it's locked. I can. I'll get it. So locked. Yeah. So anyway, this is the worst time to raise the rates. Okay, and with all the stuff that's going on with food shortages, gas prices rising up. This is why they had the yellow jackets in the first place, because of the government, stealing the money. So basically, the trust between the civilians and the politicians, the citizens and their elected officials, has been getting wider. All right, the gap is there's no way to close the gap, man. All right, all across the world, right, the people do not believe the government. The government represents the elite banking families, right? No matter what country it is, they have their members in each cabinet, in all governments all across the world, man. Right? Again, I always bring it up. Mara al-Basham-Barra, who is a forefather of the international bankers, an Edomite devil. All right, give me controls of a nation's money, and the forefather and the grandparents of the Rothschilds, right, who are international bank owners, right, the richest family in the world, right, the Edomites, right. Mara al-Basham-Barra said, give me controls of a nation's money. I care not who makes their laws, right? So what does that mean? If I can control that money, I can buy out any politician to do my bidding, right? And they won't deny the benefits because of the money that I will give them to buy them out, right? Which means if you buy someone out, that means they would have to sell out, right? sell out their integrity, sell out their ways, because you giving them money to sustain their life, right? To sustain, to breed their selfishness, right? So this whole system is corrupt, man. It's a corrupt system based on bribery, right? And which corrupts, because it's based off your emotions and selling out, no matter what, no matter what. Salakia, man. I staying broke, so I gotta put it in this view now. Go both side. All right, so whatever. All right, so we read that article. So let's bring out some scriptures. What else did I want to point out? That's basically it. So let's bring out the scriptures. And what were they doing? You can tell in everybody's face in that video, that they were looking at him with one eye closed. They're being suspicious, not suspicious, but questioning the dude, inquiring of him, and they didn't look like they believed him, so what is he doing? They said himself in the video, they're just trying to pacify the people, I mean, damn, look at this. The video's still playing. I mean, look at the chaos, man. Okay, these people, man, all across the country, they're not playing. Obviously, especially if they want to talk about bringing the guillotine in. All right, and get used to see. Look at that, man. Get used to see more of this in Babylon the Great, United States, man. Of Satan. All right. So it's coming, man, to these streets. All right, it's already here in some levels. You say one word to some psycho, he's ready to blow your head off. So what people are, one or two words away from losing their mind. You know what I mean? Okay, so now let's go to I'm gonna go first. Sedition. That's the show, right? So we know what sedition means. To go against your government, right? We already know what that means, right? I don't really need to get that. So we'll just you know what? Well, the show is called Definition of Sedition. I meant France, but I can't help it. Let's read it, just for edification's sake. So when you pull it up, sedition. Etymology. And when I pull it up, what they pull up there? They pull up the I'll just show you. It's in the news right now. All left, whatever. They pulled up the that thing that happened January 6th. I don't need to read it. Rebellion, uprising, revolt. All right. Disorder, violent strife between factions, right? The people, the poor and the rich, basically. Civil or religious disorder, all right? Rebellious against authority, right? The politicians are the authority, right? Civil disorder, dissension, strife, rebellion. Literally, a going apart separation, right? Without apart, a going apart, right? So basically, the people are going apart from the politicians. They're not believing them anymore. They don't believe in voting. They don't believe the politicians, man. A bunch of liars and pacifiers. This is the Apocrypha, which is the sedition script. Esdras. It was the 16. Esdras. believe it's 15. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. But the points in 16. So I'm going to skip down. But and it said the word sedition there. But let me get this word first. This verse first. It says, as Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, which means to look. All right. Speak thou in the ears of my people. Okay. Speak now in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord. All right. And prophecy is basically, at the end of the day, saying something before it actually happens, right? And that's what the prophets are. They said things and announced things and wrote those things that we're reading now, thousands of years before it actually happened, right? So that speaks for itself, right? And you would have to have divine intervention to do that, man. Okay, you can't fast forward to what you don't know. Well, first of all, you can't time travel, all right? Even though Elon Musk just came out with an engine to say he can, which I'm not even gonna, that proves they're a liar. You can't time travel, man. I think I read years ago before the truth that you would need a spaceship or a propelling combustion engine at the size of the moon with nuclear power or something like that to go at light speed or something like that. But that was years ago, and they said they can go. If they were to create a time machine, it would have to be as big as the moon or some shit. But anyway, I know I'm going off, but let's go back to here. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy. So you can't go into the future. The only future you get is through the prophets telling you the future. All right. So that's the closest you're gonna get. Which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord, and cause them to be written in the paper, for they are faithful and true. And that's why we're reading what the prophets wrote through the Spirit of our Lord Yahweh B'Shem Shai, man. All right. This is all the Most High telling his prophets to tell to the people, to the world, but it's really directed towards his people and his elect, because the message is he's saving the elect, and the elect they believe in him, and the invitation was out to all Israel, northern nation. Let's get that straight. To all Israel, you so-called blacks, Latino Americans, but only the elect will hearken, which is prophesied, and you 2/3 will be destroyed, which is prophesied, right? But the elect are delivered because they believe in the deliverer, the King Yahweh Shai, from the power of the Father, right? So it says, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them that trouble thee speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. And that's what it is. So the unfaithful, you got a guillotine waiting for you too, man. Okay, so this is verse 16, skip down. Matter of fact, let me start from 11. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. Now, again, we had with that Dr. Potato Head Brown, whatever, that, I don't know who he is, some freak Edomite, like all of them. But he said you can't equate America to Egypt, which is probably, I don't know how to describe that, idiotic comment, man. I mean, Egypt is all around, all the customs of Egypt are all around you. And it's writing you $1, you big nose nigga. Well, no, he's not a nigga, but, that big nose, Pastor RJ showing him, look like that, what's that? The God of the Edomites? Okay. So... it's on your dollar. The Egyptian and the setup, the birthdays, that was the Egyptian custom. The pyramids, the houses, the homes, the way your people die on our arranged in caskets. The crossing arms. That's an Egyptian thing. People having birthday celebrations. That's that's Babylonian. I'm sorry, that's a Babylonian thing. But a lot of all customs of wicked Babylonians with Egypt, they're here. But this is definitely Egypt. They worship Egypt, right? And Egypt was what? Known for slavery, right? Bondage, right? And America is known for bondage, literally, because they got the banks by the banks. Not only are you enslaved because you actually put the nation of Israel in slavery here for over 400 years, right, which is prophesied. But like Deuteronomy 28 and 68 says, I will bring them to Egypt again with ships, or not no love boats, the ships. You know what I mean? The slave ships that the small hats funded, which is documented and proven. But we were going to, well, that's a proof, but to show that this is Egypt by way of slavery, and America had slaves for 400 years, just like Egypt, because history repeats itself. There's nothing new under the sun, which proves reincarnation. Even people and the vibrations of cities and in an era reincarnates, because the same people bringing back that era, you know. Rome is just not an entity. Rome consists of the citizens, is a city, and the city is Rome, and the city's not a city but the citizens, and the citizens are people. You know, so people bring back certain times, you know. And, you know, the people who are in Egypt, them spirits, they're back here today, man. You know, the Rome, your Rome, you know, we already know what Nero is Trump, you know, Antiochus could be Biden, who knows, man. And apostles, they know the deal. They know, you know, of course, they teach us. So they identify them through the Spirit, and they tell us, man. You know, but overall, this is Rome, and it has the same system. So this is without a doubt Egypt, because it says it right here too, right? I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. So if he did it, why does the Lord say as before? Because there's another Egypt that's going to be this. It's going to come back. Those same spirits are going to bring back that same place. Like it says in Obadiah, we should build, but I shall throw down. Or is it Micah? I will rebuild. Let me see if I get it real quick. Micah. So like out there. Yeah, this is Malachi chapter 1, verse 3. It reads, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Right, and they have, you know, because I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but they were going to prophecy. You know, they were in the caves. They're the original cavemen. They're the only cavemen. They were actually chasing the cavemen, you know, proving that they're, you know, that spirit of Cain. You know, they were driven among men. You were driven among men, again, during the Dark Ages, man, where dark people ruled, you know, and you fled into the Caucasus Mountains, you know, which is a vast area above Russia, around Russia, in Georgia, Russia, but it spreads from Turkey all the way to Western Russia, right, the Caucasus Mountains, and that's where these devils dwelt, man, okay? Just like, all right, anyway. So it says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. And how they rebuild through the Renaissance, because the Renaissance means rebirth. When rebirth means basically we bring back, or they rebuild, you know. So it said, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. All right. So the wrath of the Lord is upon the wicked, is upon Esau forever. You're the wicked. Why? Because the Most High is always going to be opposed to wickedness. He's the truth, right? Wickedness is obviously negative. It's not right. Right? It's not beneficial to anything. Only for teaching lessons of what not to be, which we're in a classroom session, really meant for the nation of Israel, right? This is what the session's for. And the Lord showing us what is wickedness. It's this devil, this blue-eyed, blonde-haired devil, this damn Edomite, man. Starting with international bankers, showcase to the world what wickedness is, and never, in another example, never to mess with the Most High again. This judgment is going to teach you never to mess with the Most High's people, starting with him first and his son, his name and his image. You know what I mean? And Holy Spirit. You're going to pay, man. All right. This line is bad. All right. I'm almost done. Okay, so. All right, so back here. Wait, did I finish that? I'm sorry. I know I'm all over the place. Salakia. I'm like always rushing against, racing time, so Salakia if I'm going fast or something. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the border of Israel. That's right. All people are going to see this damn devil. And these people who are coming back, they are the border of wickedness. They are the, if you want to cross into a wicked, an entity of wickedness, come into this, come into Esau's councils, man. That's it right there. Which are the elite banking families. Back to 2nd Esdras 15, it says, 15 and 12, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues thereof, and punishment that the Most shall bring upon it. It says, they that till the ground, let me read it again, I'm sorry, behold, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and the punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for the seeds shall fail, the blasting in hail, and with the fearful consolation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Right? Because nuclear destruction is coming by way of World War III, which we are already on in World War III already. It says, so destruction to the world, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Here's the point of the show, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. And that means basically to go away, to go apart. And you have citizens all over, not only in America, but all over the world, in this case in France, who are going apart from their elected officials. They don't believe them anymore. Okay, they don't believe them. They're going against their government. All right, for there should be sedition among men, and invading one another. Right, and the definition of sedition is, damn, your citizens telling you, hey, we're going to use the guillotine on your ass, man. I mean, there's no great example, right now. That's why I did the show. So anyway, in invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princesses, and in course of their actions to stand in their power, right? And they're gonna have, these citizens are gonna have a lot of power, to do what they want to do in these days, man, because you got these forces are dwindling down, by police force and all that, and cuts, budget cuts, staff cuts. And man should desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and their spoil and their goods, because of the lack of bread and the great tribulation. Yeah, because look, man, we're here, but it's going to intensify. You had another factory somewhere burned down with chickens again. Was that number 500 or something? I know there's 700 all over the world. It's probably higher now. Factories, food factories that have burned down, and over 100. I don't know what it is now in America. You know what I mean? So that famine's here. You got famine rising. You got food shortages. All right. You got job cuts. You got prices rising, inflation, and on top of that, they want to extend your pension. Okay, so people are losing it, man. When people got nothing to lose, they lose it, right? That quote. All right, now that was that. Let's go to deliver it to the judges. I forget what that is. I think that's then where they deliver you to the judge's seat. Where is that again? Let me put I forget what that is. It might be Luke 10. Then shall they deliver them up to the judge's seat. Yeah, I don't see it. I forget where that is. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Actually, I'm putting the blue light. I'm sorry. I need prepare this one. Prepare that script. I forgot where that is. Matter of fact, let me just look for it real quick. I think it's Matthew 10. I forget what that is. Deliver. Okay, I had to pause it. I found it. This is Matthew's 10 and 16. It says, "Behold, I send." 17 is, "But beware of men; they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in the synagogues, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, to take no thought how or what ye shall speak. Take no thought of what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in the same hour what ye shall speak. Right? For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speak in you." Right? "And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death." It says, "And the father, the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death." All right, so that's something else. But basically, the 19. But when they 18, and ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them that against the Gentiles. So, just like Paul was beheaded. He was delivered up because he was preaching for the Gentiles. So really, that's probably a prophecy on Paul right there. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying he kind of did say, Paul was beheaded. As the documents state, and he was for the Gentiles, man. All right. And let me get one last one. I said I was going to get a Revelation 20. If I can find my other Bible. Revelation 20 and 4. I'm just going to go straight to the point, and we'll finish there. Revelation 20. It reads, "And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them." Right? "And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua." And the witness means what? And the prefix is wit. When someone has quick wit, that means they have quick understanding to come up with the things they have. They come out with out their mouth. They have a quick brain, right? It means they're smart, quick-witted, and you can't have that without having knowledge, right? So they must know a lot. They're wise. So right. So the ultimate, who's more wise, who has much more knowledge, who has more quick wit or smarter than the prophet's Heavenly Father? Because what makes you wise at the end of the day is the Yahweh Shemai Shai. It starts with the name. Ain't nothing more wiser than the name of the Most High and the Lord that He put upon His people, the nation of Israel. That's wisdom. Okay, the fear of the Lord is wisdom, which starts with commandments that He gave His people. Right. So it says. In which, "And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua." Right? Meaning, really, witness also goes into martyrs. Right? Meaning that at the end of the day, the ones who are witnesses and have the knowledge and wisdom of our Lord, right? We have sacrificed our lives for this truth. So the ones who is doing the work already, we are already spiritual mortals, but we will become, Lord willing, some will become physical mortals, because us believing in the Bible, you got to be dead to the world. You got to be dead to the world. That's what it means to believe in the Lord. You can't be one with the world and reaping all, use the world but not abuse it. Use it but don't abuse it. Right? So this is John 12 and 25. It says, St. John 12 and 25, "He that loveth his life shall lose it, and he that hateth his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal." Right? So becoming a man of the Lord, you gotta hate your life, man, which means if you hate your life, you're dead to the world, man. Right? So that's what it means to be a witness. But this is, again, so we're martyrs already. And but again, some will have to test that on the physical level to the Lord. It says, and for the word of the Most High, in which had not worshipped the beast, neither, right, again, of Yahushai, and for the word of the Most High, which who's the word? Yahushai. He's the word. We believe in him, right? He's the physical manifestation of the Most High power, the words, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image. The beast is what? The system, right? The system, the pit, the system of Babylon the Great, America, which this system is a carbon copy of Rome's system. You know, look at presidents, officials, the infrastructure, the building, you know, your entertainment is set up just like Rome. Nothing's different, man. Your theater, your gods, right? So it says, in which your government, right? Your I don't need to go to your plebeians, protrusions, right? Caesars, presidents, which had not worshipped the beast, the system, neither his image. So not only did they not worship the system, because we believe in the system that the Lord gave us, which is Yahushai. Okay, that's the system the Lord gave us, the nation of Israel, Yahushai. All right, by way of the commandments, and also ultimately believing in his blood, you know, his sacrifice to bring us back to the Father. Right, that's the system we believe in. Right, not the system of the devil, of the Antichrist, man. And it says, in which not worship the beast, neither his image. We didn't worship that image, the MOTB. That image represents, I'm talking about the image because it replicates Rome. But it says, neither had received his mark. Okay, right? We already know what that is, that mark. All right, that charagma, that MOTB. All right, that image. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, right, you're seeing a reflection of yourself. This place reflects Rome, if you would put a mirror image upon it, man. So they reflect that society, but something tangible is gonna be put in place to fully, basically the system is gonna be put into your body, right? For you to operate in this society, right? So it says neither his image, right? So they can make sure you're not denying the system. You know, they want to be gods, total control, and transhumanism, which is death anyway. Neither had received his mark upon their foreheads, right, or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Yahushai 1,000 years. And that's basically, you know, the elect, man. You know, that at the end of the day, you know, the ones that are going to be headed are the elect. But again, like the title says, the elect, the guillotines are not only made for the elect, but also for you politicians, you know. And we're getting an example of that in France, you know, as you see. Okay, so with that, I'll finish off on that, and you know, hope the Lord was with this video. And it's getting crazy out there, man. But we all know this is part of prophecy, and we all know that you know, the men of the Lord are shining brighter because of their poise in the spirit of Yahweh Shemai Shai. You know, that light is shining because while this world crumbles, the men of the Lord, they won't be able to hide themselves, even if they had to. I mean, by way of their character. All right, their character is going to reveal who we are through the Spirit, and then ultimately even get the guillotine. You know, that shows the true faith of Yahweh Shemai Shai. We know this ain't life. The real life is with Yahweh Shai and what he's about to bring us. This is an illusionary, imaginary world, man. All right. So, you know, the water Yahweh Shemai Shai for waking us up to the fact, you know, and we're about to live in reality very soon and forever. The Lord has promised us, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the Lord's about to bring reality to this world and start, you know, to the wicked. All right, to the wicked. And start with Esau, you know, the wicked himself, because you are a nation, a wicked being. That's what you are. And then the 2/3, you're going to be destroyed and come back, you know. You're going to come back after 1,000 years, you know, in the kingdom. Prepared for you. So with that, I pray the Lord is with this video. And shalom. Kal halal, Yahweh by Shemai Shai, by Hashem, Mukwag Wadash, Tawada, Yahweh for giving us Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and double honors to the CT bishops, elders of GMS, our big brothers. Shalom to brothers in this country and all the world. prophesying the true name of Yahweh Shemai Shalom.